Hi, this is Rachel with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a scalloped evil eye design using the Wrapit Loom. This is a nice wavy pattern you can do on the Wrapit Loom. As you can see in the beginning here, it starts narrow and then it widens around a central focal bead. And in this particular bracelet I used a Minos Parpuca bead, which is a check glass bead. And then it gets narrow again, and it just creates this nice undulating pattern that with a pink palette, it looks like a floral design, but with a palette of blues, like I have here, it will look like an evil eye design. So I'm excited to show you how to do that. So I already have my Wrapit Loom Professional Series Duo set up here. So I have 2 tracks because I'm going to make a bracelet that goes around my wrist twice. And we have another video showing you exactly how to set up your Wrapit Loom. So I'll just quickly review that I have my leather cord knotted with a button on the end, and I have my Griffin silk thread knotted at the beginning of the leather cord, and I'm about ready to start adding my beads now. So the first thing I'm going to do is take one of my lengths of Griffin silk and wrap it under and up through the middle of my 2 leather cords here, and I'll just pull that out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'll take the needle end of my Griffin silk and just under and out through the middle of the leather cord. And now I'm ready to start adding beads. So the first bead that I'm going to add here is a single gold Miyuki Delica, and I'm using size 11/0 Delicas here. So as you usually do with the Wrapit Loom, I'm going to put the bead on the needle of my first thread and cross that thread over the loom. And I'm going to take the needle of my second Griffin silk thread and cross it through that little bead and pull that to the other side. Getting a little bit tangled on my bracelet, so I'll just move it. Make sure not to get your Griffin silk tangled up. So now I'm just going to pull that bead down into the center of my leather cord here. And to create the wavy pattern, you're just going to add increasing numbers of delicas with each row that you weave. Now I'm going to wrap my threads around the leather cord to get ready for the second row of beads, just like we did in the beginning. And I'll do that on both sides. Just wrap up through the bottom and out through the center of your leather cord. All right, now we're ready for the second row of beads. So to get the scalloped wavy look in this bracelet, you do that by adding additional beads in each successive row. So for row 2, I'm going to add 2 ivory white beads. And this will create the white of the eye. So I'm going to string those beads on one thread, and then again cross my needle through the beads and pull that second thread to the other side. And I'll just pull that tight, and those beads will sit in the loom. Now for row 3, again, wrap your threads around your leather cord. And you'll do that on each side of the bracelet. Up and out. And now again, to keep building that scalloped pattern, I'm going to add 3 beads in row 3. And I'm going to add these pretty light blue beads. So slide those down the needle of your first thread, cross your second needle, And as you can see, the loom is getting wider with each row. And you can just scoot those rows up so the beads sit nice and tight together. Now I'm going to wrap again. And now I'm ready for 4 beads in my 4th row. And here I'm going to use a darker blue. This is a really pretty deep silver lined blue. Miyuki has so many fantastic colors in her Delicas. Crossing my needle now through all 4 of those beads. And I'm going to pull that tight, just scooting those beads up so they sit nice and flush against the previous row. All right, another wrap. And now we are going to create the widest point of each unit of this scalped bracelet. So I'm going to add 1 dark blue Delica and 1 3mm Swarovski crystal round bead in jet black that will create the pupil of the eye, and then 1 more dark blue Delica. And cross my needle through all 3 of these beads. And as you can see with this 3mm round bead, it's a little bit wider in this row, so you'll have just a little bit more space on either side of this row. But that was the widest point, so for the rest of this unit, you're going to be decreasing to get narrower again and finish off that eye shape. So I'm doing my wraps on both sides. And I'm just going to reverse the pattern that I just did leading up to that center row. So now I'm going to do 4 dark blue Miyuki Delicas, and watch out for your Griffin silk getting tangled. And then scoot that row up so it hugs the center row with the crystal, and pull nice and tight. Wrap again, first on the right side, then on the left side. And now continuing the reversal of the pattern, I'm going to do 3 light blue Miyuki Delicas. Pull those so they sit nice and snug. So you can see that now the leather is kind of pulling inward again and tapering off and getting more narrow as it hugs these decreasing rows of beads. doing my wraps on both sides. And now we're going to do another row of 2 ivory beads. And down they go. Another wrap. And now we're back at the beginning of the pattern, so I'm just going to do 1 bright gold bead. And I'm using Griffin silk size 2, which is the very thin size that works really well with these Miyuki Delicas. So get that gold bead nice and close to the previous row and pull. And that really cinches off this unit. So now we have a whole eye pattern, starting with this tapered tip, moving outward and coming back in. So when you begin this pattern again, start again with another row of 1 single gold bead. I found that it's good to have 2 rows of 1 bead in a row to really give the leather a chance to register that nice tapered look between the units of eyes. So as you can see, this is what the full bracelet will look like. I'll just unbutton it so you can see the full length. So it's very wavy, very feminine shape. And as you can see, if you keep going, that it will have this nice pattern of repeating eye units that creates a really nice undulating pattern. So that is how to create a scalloped evil eye design using the Wrapit Loom. You can find all of these supplies at Beadaholique.com. Thanks for watching.